to Declare's Delight for Life. How would you like to have a great and fulfilling life? That question I pose to you. How would you like to have a great, organized, to have a fulfilling life? I should say, how do you have an organized life that is fulfilling? I don't know. I guess I make mistakes and I'm not perfect, but yet I still have a fulfilling life. Hi, my name is Andrea, as I said before. I'm the Sensible Lady. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Declare's Delight for Life. I put the sensible and sensible and help declutter the clutter in your life. And as far as that's concerned, we all, have clutter. We all have to learn to declutter our lives. Believe me, my decluttering started clear back when I was 11 years old, when I was snatched away by the police out of a cult and became multiple personalities because I was broken into many pieces and journeyed. This is a journey. A journey to a fulfilling life is a journey. And then I journeyed through having a great, loving, and compassionate and kind woman who moved me on in my life to being a police explorer, to being going to school and getting a 2-year degree, which prepared me for getting a job as a corrections officer. That was extremely positive. In fact, when I got the job out of 300 people, when they called me the next day, we both cried when I got the job. That was part of my journey. It was very positive and uplifting and gave me a job that made me have enough living so I could move out of the house. In fact, I sold a comic collection in order to move out of the house. And then I, moved on and, had a bad marriage. That's the way it is, but it wasn't so nice. But I got out of it. But I learned lessons and became what I call overcomer. I overcame it. And that was the lesson I learned from that. And then I, moved on in my journey and lived by myself for 15 years until I met somebody else and went back to school. Actually, 3 years after my head injury on the job as a corrections officer. And then I started a nonprofit that helps people with mental health disabilities. And then I met a man 3 years into it, which I didn't realize he had a past abusing women. But I fell into the trap. I was Google-eyed, some people would say it, and got into another bad marriage. Because you know what? I had never learned what a good relationship was about. Because, I had dealt with so much in my life. And then, I moved on and got out of that marriage. I went from a survivor and then I went to a thriver. And then I found somebody else a year later after taking some classes on what looked good, to look for in a good relationship. And I did. And then I wrote a dream book and I'm doing another one right now. And I would encourage you to do 100 dreams in a dream book. That is something great to have for a fulfilling life to shoot for. A set of dreams and goals and inspirations. I handwrite them because I think that gets more out of it versus typing them up in a computer. So that helps you lead to a great and fulfilling life. And then I moved on, and part of my journey, as some of you know, way back 11 years ago, I was 494 pounds. I think that was one of my big wake up calls when I was told to buy a coffin and I had to lose the weight or die because of my diabetes, high blood pressure, so many diseases related to what was fun and living on a mattress, staring at TV, in no way had no life. And that was my life because I ate my way up because my supposed father, who was in the cult, was not my father, it was my grandfather. But, that's the way it was. That I was a child of a rape. I probably shouldn't use that word on Facebook, but I'm not trying to be negative here, but what I'm trying to put at, this is all just my past. It's just all who made me up and made me a very strong person and brought me to you as far as things are concerned. And then, I moved along in this journey. And then I, realized something, going back to that class I took. I learned what a good relationship and found a man through Match.com. And we met. In fact, we've been together ever since. And even this past year, went through cancer, went through 3 hernia operations, car accidents, bloody on my home, so much. But we still came out the end and are still winning, a true winner. And that is part of a fulfilling life, is realizing that you are a true winner and that you're not a hollow person. Because when you think you're a hollow person, it's really hard to have a great and or fulfilling and organized life, because when you're not hollow, life is organized. You can focus. You can be disciplined. You can get things done, because there is no other way to be able to get a job done. But I also like to say you got to have fun in whatever you do, because that opens the doors to making you feel extremely good, because what you're doing doesn't necessarily seem like work. At times it may seem like work, but that doesn't have to always be, because a great and fulfilling and organized life can really lead us to something more than what we think. Hmm. Thinking about, an organized and a simple life, I would like to bring to you, ways that you can have a great life that is organized but has many opportunities and ways of being free. And that's important, and free to open yourself excuse me, open yourself up like a butterfly coming out of a cocoon. And the whole thing about that is that when a butterfly comes out of a cocoon, it's had to fight its weight and use a lot of energy to get out of it. And sometimes it takes a lot of time and energy. But once it's out, it spreads its wings, and you know what? It starts flying right away and starts going for the nectar of beautiful flowers. And that is what I see as a great and fulfilling and organized life, because that butterfly innately knows what to eat, how to eat, and what to do in life. And a lot of us don't realize that if we follow our passions in life, that spark in us of things we really want to do, that gives us energy, even to get up early in the morning. That's really beautiful, because when you can get up early and be able to do what you want, and realize that you're getting up before anybody else, and as a result you're able to get a lot done and take care of yourself at the time, whether it be meditation or exercise or journaling or prayer to whatever you believe in, or a gratitude list, or I like to say an appreciation list, or I'd like to say something where you put your heart like this and you think of many memories and hold them tight to your heart. And that makes you feel great, because if you're feeling down at all, that helps you to have a great and fulfilling life, because it brings appreciation. That is another key to a great and fulfilling and organized life, because when you have that appreciation, you realize that life doesn't necessarily have to be so bad, because you can find, even sometimes, even the worst of situations, that you can have appreciation, and that no matter what, you I should say you, us. I'll say us instead because I think that's much more appropriate. Us has the opportunity that we never had before. And that when you look for opportunity instead of problems, problems are not necessarily a problem because you look for the opportunity. And that opportunity makes you lead to other opportunities, and people are attracted to that. And that's a biggie. When folks are attracted to you, it generates positive energy. And that's great because I know for myself, I love being around positive people. Positive people give me energy, they give me hope, they give me peace, they give me a sense of, how can I say, is that when they have appreciation, it comes back to me when I get back to them. And building relationships with people are some of the most important things. I know we have a bunch of electronics and a whole bunch of stuff, but I went to a conference. I think some of the biggest things was handing out business cards and getting business cards from somebody else. It may seem like old fashioned, but you know what? Business cards are tangible. Even in electronics, where you take electronic picture, they say are business cards. I always find things get lost in the shuffle, and you never get back to the electronic stuff. Maybe you will, maybe, but business cards are tangible. You can probably figure out I'm old fashioned as far as that's concerned, but I really like the idea of business cards because it gives somebody something tangible in this world. And I liked talking to people in person versus virtual. Virtual is extremely important, just like I'm talking to you now in this virtual world and helping you. Because when we, connect with each other, it gives us opportunity to open ourselves to a great and fulfilling life. You can't ask for anything else like that. And when you have a great and fulfilling life, it is organized beyond belief because your ducks seem to just fall into row. Because I realize that because attitude plays a big part in me having a great and organized and fulfilling life because I used to not think much of organization before I became a declutter. I had a mess, and my life was a mess. But when I decided to declutter my life and do something about what I was doing, then life opened up when I started letting go. There's another biggie, and having a great and organized and fulfilling life. Excuse me, my throat's going a little bit. I have to drink some water. I'll be right back. You know, there's a lot of things that, I really want to leave with you, but I'm going to leave you with three questions because I think it's extremely important that you have some guidelines to have a great and organized, fulfilling life. Well, I already mentioned one of them. Make yourself a dream book of 100 dreams, inspirations, and goals in that. And if you have the fortitude, yes, I'm going to say the fortitude, go back, leave a blank page, one blank page. I use uh, I use a simple, you know, notebook that you can buy at Walmart for $1, and I put my dreams that and leave 2 pages, actually 1 or 2 pages available for that dream, goal, or inspiration, and I write it at the top of the page and write the date on it and gives me a place all in one spot. I love that one spot rule because when you put everything in one spot, you know exactly where to find it. And that's a beautiful thing. And if you have the fortitude, think of 3 to 6 steps for each of those dreams, maybe maybe 3 or 4 a day. Action steps, that's what they're called, action steps under each of those dreams that you'd like to see have that accomplished. And Well, I can't ask for any more for that to happen. And then you'd be surprised how things start attracting into your life when you do this. You start seeing things and opportunities around you that you never saw before because you have something tangible about, instead of things rolling around in your head like a rolling ball. Because one thing I realized, that sometimes something may roll around my head for months, but when I certainly put it down on paper, it sure makes a lot more sense. And when I do that, it's so much easier. In fact, I did that the other day, emptied my head of a lot of stuff for my business. But once it was done, it felt great. And you know what? I'm never going to go backwards as far as, not letting things roll around my head. If I think of it in the morning, I put it down. And I would encourage you to do the same if you have thoughts or feelings. Keep a journal, a one spot journal, as I call it, where you can write things about your business, your personal life, everything in one spot. Because if you ever have to go back to something, it's in one, and you can just use those same notebooks to keep everything. I know lots of day timers and other things out there that you can use, but what I use is just a simple book. In fact, this is what I use. It's a simple stand-up book, has AM and PM and places to write down below and space on the back. I keep things really simple because that way I can do things quite simply instead of taking a lot of time out of my day to plan things and get things done. It's all right there. It's planned. It's done. It even helps me with you guys and what I need to bring to you guys. And, there's another key right there, is having a one spot, to plan things out for the day. And that really helps to have really move you forward and have a blessed, um, fulfilling, and organized life. I always have the principle about keep it simple. I know there's a lot of day timers, whatever, there's time management systems. If that is your choice to do that, that is your choice to do that. But here at Declutters Delight for Life, I'm about simplicity, and I like to boil everything down to brass tacks. And to me, that sure makes life a lot simpler. Even where I'm staying at, the guy keeps it simple. One piece of paper, calculator. It's old fashioned, but it works. And he's got repeat business for 30 years. And you know what? That's great, because repeat business is what it's all about. Well, after I've talked through all that, I will bring you the third question. And I've also given you a lot of other gold nuggets here. The third question, in your dream book, um, I would ask this question to yourself. It's just one question to ask yourself, you know, what are you going to do? Really, really do. What is one thing would, say like in the next 7 days, save the first, top three dreams in your life that you're going to do. That's really important, whether they be big or small, and write them down after this Facebook Live. You'll be amazed at how fast things get done in your dream book, and how fast dreams and inspirations and all that, and how important that you will have a life that is happy, that is not sad, that is fulfilling and organized. Because everything from your journal down to your dream book, down to, your planning in the morning. I don't take no more than 10 minutes, and that includes planning for you. And because of that, it makes my life so much simpler. And that's what I'm all about, is keeping it simple and being for you each and every day. And I would love to hear you all from Messenger. And that would include, you can reach me at ddflrocks at gmail.com. That's ROUROCKS. Sorry, I am going to have a I think mind blank. That's ROCKS DFLC. I should say declares delight for life, and the initials are the first of each of those. So I'll keep it simple that way. And that's at gmail.com. And then you can messenger me. I've had a couple of faux pas, so I hope you can accept that. I like to accept you as you too, because we all need acceptance of each other. And with that, I wish you a great Declares Delight for life. Have peace and tranquility and hope and life. Have a fulfilling and organized life. And I'll see you here tomorrow night. And blessed be.